Oh my God, let me tell you about a moment that changed everything on Love and Marriage Huntsville. The reunion show wasn't just dramatic, it was the kind of explosive event that leaves permanent scars. When Destiny and Tisha faced off, the tension in that room was electric, crackling with months of unspoken accusations and buried hurt. What we witnessed wasn't just another reality TV argument. It was the death of a friendship that had once seemed unshakable. The cameras caught plenty, but what they didn't show, what was left on the cutting room floor, is where the real story lies. The deleted footage reveals layers of betrayal so deep, so personal, that it makes what aired look like child's play. But to truly understand why this hit both women so hard, why it sent shockwaves through the entire cast, we need to go back to where it all began. For 4 seasons, Destiny and Tisha weren't just friends. They were each other's shelter in the storm. Their bond wasn't built on superficial connections like many reality TV friendships, but on something much deeper. This was about 2 women who understood what it felt like to be pushed aside, constantly questioned, and always fighting to prove their worth. Tisha, in particular, had weathered more challenges than most. Her relationship with Melody Holt had been filled with tension and accusations that stung deeply. Season after season, Tisha faced questions about jealousy, the authenticity of her friendships, and even her marriage. Each attack left another scar, another reason for her to keep her guard up. Destiny, too, understood that pain on a deep level. Her falling out with Melody had been a betrayal that changed her. Melody had been more than a friend. She had been family. When that relationship ended, it left deep wounds that didn't heal easily. It was only natural that Destiny and Tisha would find each other. They not only shared a common enemy, but also a deep understanding of betrayal and what it meant to feel misunderstood. In the early days, their alliance seemed unbreakable. When the world turned its back on Destiny, Tisha stayed firm. She didn't waver and didn't let public opinion or drama sway her loyalty. And when Tisha faced yet another storm with Melody, Destiny was right there, backing her up, throwing shade at their common enemy, and making it clear that Tisha wouldn't stand alone this time. They became each other's confidants, sharing secrets, strategies, and support. In a world where alliances shifted like sand, Destiny and Tisha seemed to find solid ground. They celebrated each other's victories, defended each other's honor, and presented a united front that appeared impenetrable. Their friendship became a key focus of the show, proving that genuine connections could exist even in the cutthroat world of reality TV. However, beneath this seemingly perfect friendship, something started to shift. The changes were subtle at first, so small that if you weren't paying close attention, you might have missed them. It began with tiny moments, slight hesitations, a misplaced defense, things that could easily be explained away. The whispers started slowly. People who claimed to have Tisha's best interests at heart tried to warn her. They noticed things she didn't want to see. Destiny was having private conversations with her critics, nodding along when someone threw shade at Tisha, and staying suspiciously quiet during moments when she would have once defended Tisha. But Tisha, ever loyal, brushed these warnings aside. She'd heard similar things before, people trying to come between her friendships. She wasn't going to let gossip and speculation ruin something she believed in so deeply. Her unwavering faith in their friendship only made what happened next more devastating. As the season went on, the changes in Destiny became harder to ignore. Her energy felt different, her responses more calculated. Where she once would have been the first to defend Tisha, now she stayed silent, or worse, shifted sides. Tisha could no longer pretend it was all in her head. The signs were there, clear as day. The bond they shared, once solid, was beginning to unravel. What had once seemed like an unshakable alliance was now filled with cracks. And Tisha, with her loyalty and trust, was left to face the painful truth that the person she thought would always have her back was slipping away. When Destiny did speak up, her words lacked the usual fire and conviction. It was as if she was trying to play both sides, keeping her options open while maintaining the appearance of loyalty. Then came the indirect jabs, the subtle comments that could be interpreted in many ways. Destiny began saying things like, "You have to watch who you trust in this group," and some people pretend to have your back, but will throw you under the bus the first chance they get. On the surface, these could have been about anyone, but the timing and context seemed to point directly at Tisha. The real shock, though, came when Destiny started forming closer relationships with people who had always been Tisha's adversaries. She was seen having intense private conversations with Melody, the very person who had caused both of them so much pain in the past. These weren't casual chats. They were deep, emotional discussions that hinted at potential reconciliation. For someone like Tisha, who valued loyalty above all else, this felt like the ultimate betrayal. It wasn't just about Destiny talking to their former enemies. It was the secrecy of those conversations, the way they seemed to happen behind Tisha's back. Destiny never mentioned them until others brought them up. By the time the reunion came around, the tension was palpable. You could feel it in the air, see it in the way Destiny and Tisha carefully avoided direct eye contact, sitting as far apart as possible on the reunion couch. Then, Carlos King, a master of reality TV drama, asked the question that would blow everything wide open. Do you feel like you were ever truly loyal to Tisha? The silence that followed was deafening. The entire room held its breath, waiting for Destiny's response. When it finally came, Destiny said, "I was loyal in the ways that I could be." You could literally see Tisha's heartbreak on camera. Her face went through a whirlwind of emotions: shock, hurt, betrayal, and finally, anger. In the ways that you could be? What kind of answer is that? Tisha demanded, her voice trembling with emotion. Either you were loyal or you weren't. There's no in-between. That was when everything exploded. Instead of backing down, Destiny doubled down. "I had my own stuff going on, Tisha. I wasn't about to fight your battles when I had my own to deal with." Those words landed like a physical blow, and Tisha wasn't about to let them slide. "You sat up here for months pretending we were friends," she fired back, years of suppressed hurt and anger finally breaking free. "You were out here, hanging with people who don't even like me, smiling in their faces, nodding while they talked about me behind my back. And now you want to act like you didn't know exactly what you were doing." Then Carlos King pulled out his trump card: actual receipts. Messages showing Destiny engaging in conversations about Tisha behind her back. The room went completely still as Carlos began reading the messages aloud. Destiny's weak defense of, "I don't remember saying that," only made things worse. The other cast members' reactions told the whole story. Morrow shaking his head in disappointment, Kimmy looking like she wanted to disappear into the couch, and Melody wearing an expression that said she'd been waiting for this moment all along. Finally, Tisha stood up, her whole body trembling with emotion. "You're fake, Destiny," she declared, her voice thick with hurt and disgust. "And you know what? We're done. We are completely done." Destiny, still trying to hold control, attempted to flip the script. "Tisha, you've been looking for a reason to turn on me," she said. But Tisha shut that down immediately. "No, girl. You gave me plenty of reasons. I just refused to see them until now." What happened next wasn't shown on air, but the deleted footage tells an even more dramatic story. After the confrontation, Destiny stormed off set, refusing to continue filming. She felt attacked, cornered, like no one was willing to hear her side. But what's telling is that Tisha didn't follow her. She didn't try to make peace or salvage what was left of their friendship. Instead, she sat back down, looked at Carlos King, and said words that carried the weight of painful realization. "I should have seen this coming all along." This wasn't just another reality TV spat that would be forgotten by the next season. This was the end of a friendship that had meant everything to both women. Years of trust, support, and shared struggles, all reduced to ashes in a matter of minutes. The fallout sent ripples through the entire cast, forcing people to choose sides, creating new alliances, and deepening old rivalries. The question now wasn't whether Destiny and Tisha could repair their friendship, because that bridge had been thoroughly burned. Instead, everyone was left wondering where they go from here. How does Destiny move forward when she's potentially burned her last bridge? Was this betrayal something she planned all along, or did she simply get caught up in playing both sides until it all fell apart? One thing's certain: this isn't the end of the drama. In fact, What happens next could be the most shocking chapter yet in this ongoing saga. Because in the world of love and marriage, Huntsville, every ending is just the beginning of an even bigger story.